Welcome to our third tutorial for the Open City Toolkit. In the first tutorial I explained how you can register an app by generating an API key. In the second tutorial I described how you can connect a new database by clicking on Configuration to the Open City Toolkit. We created the XMS databases which we will use in this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will explain how you can use this Open City Toolkit in a simple Android app to visualize your location of a certain point. In our case, I will represent the different shops of a Christmas market in Münster. We assigned for this purpose the Christmas market CouchDB, so we can connect our app via the Open City Toolkit to these databases. To access these databases through the Open City Toolkit, you need to use this URL as I described last time. So you have the API for the API, the dataset, so you get only the dataset back what you have assigned, then also the ID of the query what you are using, in our case was Christmas market, and as well the authorization which is the API key what we generate last time. Then you get this JSON string back, and if you have a closer look at the JSON string, you see here different kind of features. Each feature represents a location of a shop of the Christmas market. If we have a closer look, we have here the properties where are description about the shop and also the geometry with the location of the coordinates of the polygon what we try to display later on. We implement for the tutorial a sample app which you will find on our GitHub for the Open City Toolkit, which is a sample what you can simply import to Android Studio and develop with it. Before you're starting to develop your Android app, you should run some basic tutorials, how to install Android Studio and run the first project. Afterwards, you should have a look at the Getting Started tutorial, how to use Google Maps API. Then you get a basic understanding of how you can use Google Maps on Android. Helpful are also tutorials from YouTube, for instance the Google Maps tutorial part 1 from Tech Academy. So if you have installed your Android Studio, you can simply import our project from GitHub. So you click on GitHub import, go back to the web page to our GitHub web page, and then you can go on clone and just copy and paste this GitHub ID of our sample Android code. So then you need to paste it here, so you see the direction of the name, and then you can simply say clone. This will usually take a while, and then it will ask you to open this project. So yes, and then it starts to build this project. Sametimes it takes some minutes depending on your machine, and then you can have a look at this sample project. First of all, you need to look at the resources. Basically, you need to have a look at the manifest, because you need to add here your Google ID. If you didn't know what a Google ID is, run first a tutorial about Google Maps and Android. So you will find your Google ID in the developer section of your Google account. You need to apply, as described in the tutorial, to run a Google app. So you need to paste your app key from Google Maps here, and then you're done with this part. Furthermore, we implemented a simple main activity where we represent our Christmas market shop on a Google Maps application. So, if we have a closer look at resources, then we can see the layout, which sometimes crash after an import. But basically, we have a search button over here, or a search field over here, and a search button. Below this, we will represent a map with the location of the Christmas market shops. So therefore, as you learned in your tutorial what you did before, you can create different kind of buttons and text fields which are linked to your source code. Having a look at the Java source code of your Google Maps app, you need to fill in first the things what we created last time. So here we have the API key and also the dataset ID, which is our query. So going back to our Open City Toolkit, you see our dataset is Xmas. So we just need to add in our code here Xmas, so we find the right dataset what we try to pass later on. So if we have a look as well, then we need to copy and paste this key what you get sent by email in the last tutorial. So you just can copy and paste this key in this place when you did to copy when you need to place the API key. So just remove every spaces so you don't get an error. And if you are so far, then and the app is compiled, you can run it on your smartphone. To run it on your mobile, press the play button. It usually takes a while until the cloud is built and the mobile is found that you have connected. If you found the mobile, in this case it's Sony, just press on OK and the app will deploy on your mobile. So on your mobile you see the key which we're using, the Xmas, in the search field. And if you're now pressing search, then the JSON will be requested, the location will be analyzed and displayed on this mobile. So here you see the different location what we saw in the JSON. So each location have the description and also the shape of the location of the polygon what was passed by the JSON string. Each time when we press on search, we see in our app that we will get another call. If we reload it, you see we have already 11 calls from our app, and if I press a second time search, I will send a new request, and if we reload, we get the next call. So you see that I directly connected to the Xmas dataset and use the Xmas dataset. To do so, we are using a JSON parser. The JSON parser need also be registered in your app, and then you can easily use it. So having a closer look at the code, we have different kind of function. First one is the so-called search function, in which we are generating our URL. So we're putting the basic URL with the dataset, and then we add our query, so the Christmas market, and then the authorization with the app key. Then, of course, we did some output to see what's going on there. Furthermore, we sent an HTTP request to our Open City Toolkit with our URL what we generated. As requested, we get a JSON string back what we need to analyze in our JSON parser. So therefore, we implemented another function, pass JSON. In this function, we get through the whole tree of the JSON. So I will show it quickly with our JSON viewer. So we start at the top level, then we get us our feature, and each feature has a specific coordinate which represent one shop. These shops and the properties of the shops are in these subsets. So in our code, this means that we get our features, and then we run through these features, so we get all shops in a row. For each feature, as I said, we look at the properties, and also we get a step deeper to get each coordinate or each GPS coordinate for each point of the polygon what we are representing. Therefore, we go in our code and we get these properties, and then we get the name and what is standing inside and the geometry. Then we test if we have like a polygon type of our geometry, and then we run through each polygon, get the longitude, latitude, set it as point, and create a new polygon from the Google map. We set the color and the stroke of the polygon and add it to our map. Also, we add a pin with the description of the shop. Finally, we move the camera to the point where the shops are located. That is basically how to use the Open City Toolkit. Have fun to use it and implement your own app.